7 o'clock on the East Coast. It is 4 o'clock on the West Coast. It is the 15th of October in the year of our Lord 2023. Season 14, Episode 5. 643 times you have been welcomed to the Clubhouse Podcast. Almost didn't make it on time tonight. That's my fault because copy-paste is not my friend. Welcome. My name is Rob. I am the executive producer of the Clubhouse Podcast. And it's good to be back. Last show we did was right before the state fair started, and the state fair's almost over. Alex out on assignment this week. It is his birthday week. Make sure you send some love to him for his birthday. That way for me. Oh, I got it right the first time. Even though my finger is not bent correctly. He is the official fact checker of Sooner Gator Productions and a man who's 2 days past his 67th birthday. You may know him as Igbunu, but his mama named him Don Ford. I'm going to call him Don Ford. Hey, man.
You got most of that right. Physically, I feel sometimes like I'm 67, but biologically, no.
But how was your birthday, sir? Did you have a good birthday?
The birthday was good, but mentally, maybe 12, But
that would be generous for me.
Yeah. Okay.
With Alex out on assignment, we are joined by a man who an hour and a half ago was a boat captain, and now he's not. Not sure what's going on there. Representing MMTG Clothing, representing No I'm Right, representing more projects than I have. LA's back on the show. How you doing, brother?
Hey, man, I'm doing wonderful. I, too, celebrated a birthday as I turned the ripe young age of 42. And so I know a little something about turning age older. And Don, I am here to tell you, you look every bit of that 67, my guy. Keep up the work.
Been a while, but we're back. So we might
Should I be collecting your Social Security then?
Well past due for it.
Should I put my claim in now?
You get all your Social Security done. That'll last you a couple months at this point.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Big news while we were gone, and it's kind of a little bit of old hat, but with these two guys here especially, I wish Alex was here to talk about this as well. Big happenings come the spring because we have a merger happening. The XFL and the USFL will be merging.
Finally.
Was that a pun?
Finally.
Thank you. But I'm kind of here for it. I thought both leagues brought something different to the table. And now Dallas gets to be represented in this spring league. But Don, you may have to fact check me on this.
Okay.
Wouldn't that mean San Antonio has two teams?
Yep.
XFL and who else?
Oh, no. Houston had a team.
Yeah.
The Houston Gomblers. So Houston, San Antonio, and Dallas would all have teams in this new league. And you'd have more of a... LA's phone just went kaputs on him.
Sorry.
But that would also give a bigger map to the league itself because most of your USFL teams were south of the Mason-Dixon and west of the Colorado or east of the Colorado, if I'm not mistaken, right? Since they were all playing in Birmingham the first year. Whereas the XFL had a team in Seattle. What are you doing, dude?
I'm sorry, malfunction. It was a total malfunction.
Okay,
apologies. We're back.
But I would like to see a map of all of the teams from both leagues together because now it still wouldn't be the coverage that the NFL has. But my question for you gentlemen is this. Does this get this new, I don't even want to call it a super league because it's only 16 teams. But does this give a spring football league a better chance to be a feeder league for the NFL? Because we've seen some guys from both leagues have a modicum of success in the NFL. Don, your thoughts?
Does the merger help them? Possibly.
I'm going to go off camera for just a second. I want to let you know.
Yeah. Does the merger help? Yes, I think it does. Because both by themselves, how well will it do? I think them putting them together and putting more cities and more of a league, and hopefully if they do it right, it can be a possible success. But I think separated, no. I think it's better that they do merge.
Sorry, you didn't give me long enough. LA, what about you?
Well, as far as in ratings go, I don't think that both of those sports franchises are good enough to keep the attention of the audience who are now going through NFL hangover. That I don't think it's a big majority of people that crave football after the Super Bowl. I think a lot welcome the break. A lot wants more, but you're not going to get that many people interested in a bunch of ragtag teams that nobody knows. So for them to come together, I think was the smartest move for them both in order to survive the beast that's known as the NFL.
If it were me, because if you remember, the XFL kicked off like the week after the Super Bowl. And then the USFL and kind of what I saw as a move kicked off 2 weeks before the XFL championship. By the way, Dallas, shout out. Arlington, actually, shout out. I would wait till I would give it a little bit of breathing time. I think I would start this league probably 1st of March, or maybe even go till April and get March Madness out of the way, because then you've got the beginnings of the NBA and NHL playoffs, and then you could have them all land at the same time. When would you guys start that league?
I think the spring is it's the only time you can start the league, to be honest with you, because if you think about it, the NFL is kind of made itself to be all year round because they get publicity for, the draft. You got the free agency period. Then you turn around and have, training camp, the OTAs, then training camp, then the preseason. So the NFL has made its way year round. So the getting while the getting is good is going to be right after that Super Bowl.
I would probably start it honestly before the NBA playoffs and stuff like that, but I would give it a couple weeks. Maybe see when Easter is, and maybe right after Easter, and go from there, and not have too long extended league where you don't have to compete with opening day of the NFL.
I just realized I may have muted all of us when I muted me. So if that happened to you guys, I apologize.
That's all right.
Everyone.
It's going to be interesting to see how this works out. Because if you remember, the NFL was one of 2 leagues going on at the same time early on. It was the NFL and the AFL, and then you had the NFL AFL championship, which then turned into the merger, which then turned into the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So,
I
just like football.
We all love it, man. That's why I say, man, right after the Super Bowl, give it about 2 weeks to, get it out our system for the NFL and get us surged up for the XUSFLL.
Oh, my boy Brian's watching. He says he thinks the Dwayne Johnson luster is dimming. Oh, I can put this on the thing. Watch this, LA. You ready?
Let's go.
Boom.
Oh,
right
look at
screen. How about that? Brian's watching on Facebook. He doesn't care if the league is going to end in any other fashion as the World League. Boy, the World League with some of the worst out uniforms I've ever seen for the Orlando Thunder, with those bright green. And Kerwin Bell was their quarterback. He says nobody cares. I just like football. I like having football. I like whether it's arena football, whatever it is. Football is my jam. It always has been since I was a kid, and I'm willing to give it a shot because they did good business here. The Arlington Renegades had good crowds, and they really interacted with their fans. I can't speak for the USFL because this town didn't have a team. So
I think Brian's a huge pessimist, man. We love football, Brian.
That's my
football.
Dude. My brother, be careful.
I'm just saying, man, like we all are we're geeked up for high school Friday Night Lights. We got college football.
Hold on. Because Brian's like, how long does that last? Which is a good question. And he's a big Ohio State fan. But when you talk about Friday Night Lights, that's a Texas thing. And I've had this conversation with a ton of people. Now, granted, this might be old man Rob.
It is.
Not afraid to say it. When I was a kid, and remember, I didn't grow up here.
Right.
Where I grew up.
It sucked for you.
Well, more recruited state than Texas. But for us, we loved our football team in high school. We supported our football. I was in the marching band. Like, I was. But it wasn't the pageantry. I didn't know what a mum was. I thought mum was a British term for your mom, right? I learned what a mum was when I came out here. And this past week, Louisville High School, right up the road a piece from where I am right now, sets the Guinness World Record for the largest mum ever. You could basically put this on the back of all of Santa's reindeer with room left over. So the pageantry. And Brian agrees with me. He says Florida football is a real thing, but it does not compare to Texas. And he's absolutely right. So there's a thing when it comes to football. I love football. I will go, if somebody gives me tickets to a Cowboy game, not afraid to say it, not a Cowboy fan. Here it is. There it is. My boys. We'll talk about them in a minute. But I'll go watch a game. I watch anybody play football. That's why I love Red Zone, because I watch all the games at the same time. Don, a big Pittsburgh Steelers fan. We'll talk about that here in a minute.
Okay.
Because that's where I will be this week. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to see what happens. Bring me sports. Or time it so that there's 2 times a year when there's nothing going on.
More sports, man.
Give me sports.
More football.
Football.
Football. I love that movie.
Wildcat.
Let's get into NASCAR. Today, we were at Vegas. A lot going on in Vegas today because the Raiders were at home and NASCAR was going on at the same time. But today was the South Point 400 at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Here are your top 10 finishers. Coming in 10th, starting in 15th, is Denny Moons over my Hamlin. Truex starts in 4th and winds up in 9th. Tyler, the Chronicles of Reddick, starts in 8th and stays there. The Poet, William Byron, starts in the bronze medal, winds up in 7th. Blaney breaks even, 12th to 12th. Ross, Don't You Dare Call Me Jessica Chastain, comes in 10th. Keselowski starts in 21st and winds up in 4th. Kyle Busch starts in 6th, winds up in 3rd. Christopher Ring My Bell starts in the pole position but drops to the 2nd. And Kyle Larson, Caveman Attorney, wins the race. They switch places from the start. We are smack dab in the middle of the NASCAR playoffs, boys, and we only got like 3 races left, which is crazy. Because right now, there's going to be 2 more guys eliminated in 2 weeks. On October 30th is when we will officially have the final 4. But here's your 8. You've got Chris Buescher.
Okay.
He's in 8th. He is 6 points behind Ryan Blaney, the Stone. Blaney's a point behind Tyler Riddick. Riddick is 2 back on Bell. So Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex, William Byron, and Kyle Larson are your top 4. But there's only 10 points all over this place. So this could still go anywhere in the next couple of races. Coming up next week, we are a little bit south of my hometown. Used to be the final race of the year. But now, Miami Homestead hosts the forever 400 presented by Mobil 1. But you know what I've noticed about NBC? If you watch the commercials for NASCAR on NBC, they don't give the race names. And to me, the race names are part of the reason we do this.
Right.
They just say, next week, Homestead on NBC, 2:30 p.m. You know what? My Will Arnett is pretty good.
And then it has a little going around. Yeah.
They don't say the Forever 400 presented by Mobil 1. It's just Homestead playoffs.
And also brought to you by Surge. It's
And
not just.
But if I'm that sponsor, I'm like, bro, I put my name on the race. Say the name of the race.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. College football. We are in we just wrapped up week 7. Bit of a problem Friday night there in Stanford.
Not Connecticut. Or
No.
is
Coach Dion goes up 29-0 at the half. 29-0. His kid is putting merch links in his Instagram at halftime, and they lose in double overtime.
If I
Unreal.
can speak on behalf of the community, I would just say one thing that I do like about what Dion is doing is at least he is owning it. Whether he is true.
I'm going to let you go for a minute. I got to turn my mic off. Hold on. Keep going.
He is true to in sense of a wrestling heel. He is true to form. He is a guy who is going to stand behind exactly what he says he is. Win, lose, or draw. When he wins, I told you so. When he loses, it's, hey, everybody loses. What's the big deal? I'm not a loser. I'm still the man. They still came to see me. I still fill the seats, et cetera, et cetera. He literally is kind of the tribal chief of the college football. And I don't know who can do it better right now. I think that he has somebody summed it up pretty good. They said that the Colorado Buffaloes, I'm sorry. It was actually one of those, Don, if you can remember those memes that come out about the Halloween outfits, and it says a Deion Sanders starter kit. It said it comes with a Colorado Buffaloes hat, a gold pair of prime glasses, a overhyped ego, and an average football team.
Yeah.
I agree with what Brian's saying there. When they lose, he says we lost. When they win, we won.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, and this is going to be weird. One of the things that's kind of turned me, and I've always loved Dion. I literally ran into him when he first came to this town. Long story, I'll tell another time. But he said something on a program that I'm really much having problems with right now. LA, have you watched the new Inside the NFL?
I caught an episode or two, but not regularly.
Good. It's not good.
Okay.
But Dion was actually on this week because Ryan Clark's birthday, they're very close. So he and Ocho Cinco had a sit down with Dion.
Gotcha.
And Dion is the guy I really thought, and you can go back and check the tape on this. I really thought he would not leave Jackson State until that Florida State job became available. Because I still think that's the end game. Before, and there will be a day where Dion jumps to the NFL. Let anybody want to debate me on that?
No, I think so.
But I think before that happens, I think he gets a run in Tallahassee. He goes home because he knows how to win.
Yeah.
Brian's saying he didn't get the degree requirement at Florida State. I think if he wants it bad enough, he'll fix that. He's Dion. He can do what he wants. But I like what he's doing as a coach. Sometimes I cringe a little bit with some of the quotes, but he's getting things done.
Yeah.
People are talking about Colorado. Who was talking about Colorado 365 days ago?
Yeah.
But you just got to remember 4 quarters.
Yeah.
Not 2, 4. You don't score 4 times in the first half, blank the other opponent, and let off the gas because you lose in double overtime.
That you do. And he knows that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say he knows that because the toughest match they had was against Colorado State, right? And they had to come back.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ryan said he's also showing you how you use the transfer portal and the NIL.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. There's certain coaches that are still fighting it, and what's happening there? It's a different time. It's just a different era. You
Absolutely.
can't apply old rules to new school. You just can't.
No.
Speaking of Florida State, they beat Syracuse 41-3 yesterday. Brian's Ohio State Buckeyes beat up on the Boilermakers of Purdue. Almost 7 time in them. Michigan beats up on Indiana 52-7 as well. Georgia, Vanderbilt's trying to be somebody. They gave my Gators a little bit of a scare last week. Georgia only beats them by 17. That should have been 140-3 because it's Vanderbilt. I once had a director. He went to Vanderbilt, and he told me that when he was there, because they lost every game, but their chant was, "You may have lost the game today, but you'll all work for us someday." And I thought that was very funny. North Texas beats up on Temple 45-14, but they have a Buc-ee's. Iowa State with a big win. Alabama. I have been saying now this entire season, and I said it last year too, nobody fears Alabama anymore.
Nah.
The fear factor is gone. Arkansas almost beat them.
Sure did.
Now, I remember a time when Arkansas was the team to beat.
Yeah.
I was 12, but I remember that time.
Same with Nebraska.
No, Nebraska's a whole different set of problems, man. You talk about a team that can't win their way out of a paper basket right now. Elsewise, the Navy beats Charlotte 14-0. Number 16, Utah puts up 20 more than Cal can. Remember when Cal was somebody?
Oh, yeah.
Kansas is upset by Oklahoma State 39-32. Penn State puts 63-0 on UMass. Miami of Ohio beats Western Michigan. And another great game last night, Oregon, Washington. This, to me, was the game to watch for the weekend.
Two of the blandest named.
Yeah, but one of them's got 178 different uniform combinations because they got Nike money.
Right.
Oh, Don just froze up on us.
That's just age.
I can hear. Don, can we hear you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but your video froze up on us.
Okay.
Try turning your camera off, then turn your camera. It looks like you're about to eat a sandwich. I don't know what's going on there.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, you don't have. We use Wi-Fi now. The dial up you can let go, buddy.
Florida squeaks.
AOL.
Florida squeaks one out against South Carolina by a safety. This team hurts my soul, LA. My Gators hurt my soul.
You guys all froze up on me though.
We can hear you. We just can't see you.
All right. Do you want me to leave and sign back in?
Yeah, go ahead and leave and sign back in.
Okay.
Okay, gotcha.
They show moments, but those moments aren't consistent.
Nah, I don't.
Florida's just been so good for so long. When we're on the bottom side of the cycle, it just feels like forever.
You know, they remind me a lot of a couple of those NFL teams, you know, the Chargers, the Cowboys, you know, teams that just kind of stay decent.
What do I always say about the Chargers, though? Because it's almost November. Chargers going Charger.
Yeah.
I never trust the Chargers, ever. The Cowboys, I mean, we all know what the problem is with the team in this town. We all know.
Yeah.
And if you don't, welcome back from the cave, because we'll get to them here in a minute. Tennessee wins against Texas A&M. TCU with another big win, but I don't know that they can crawl themselves back into contention. Alex's FAU Owls treat my South Florida Bulls like they owed them money, beating them 56-14. My South Florida Bulls are another one. They hurt my soul. Troy blanks Army 19-0. Badger goes down to the Hawkeyes of Iowa. Washington State upset by Arizona 44-6. In another crazy game I saw some highlights from. Louisville also gets upset by 17 by Pitt, so Alex is happy about that because he went there for a minute. LSU, are they back in contention after they beat Auburn by 30? But it's not. But again, it's not a team I fear.
Yeah, but that's an impressive victory, though.
I mean, they're playing well. Don't get me wrong. And my dude Cliff, when I can finally get him on the show to talk about it, because he went there, his team's doing well.
Yeah, gotta give him that.
And they got Ashley, who went to LSU. It's her birthday weekend, so she got a birthday present yesterday with a big win.
Yeah.
Air Force beats Wyoming. Miami of Florida goes down again, but not an upset because we live in a world where North Carolina is ranked 12th in the country.
That's true.
But they lost by 10. Now, if you're going to lose a game, the way they lost when you should have taken a knee,
Right.
just saying. Kentucky gets upset by Mizzou. Notre Dame all over USC yesterday. And another game that I was watching Booger McFarland on PTI, and he called it. He said USC's defense is not going to be able to handle Notre Dame because they can't hold anybody. They're a team that they're going to give up 40, but they're going to put 78 on the board. Caleb Williams is a stud. Make no mistake about it. But Notre Dame wants you to know who they are.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, I have seen a game on that campus. I went to a game on that campus back in 2008.
Was it Rudy?
No, it wasn't Rudy. 2008. At least I told you the year. I didn't tell you how old I was.
I was trying to jump in before you gave.
But they were playing San Diego State. That campus tried to make me a fan. It did. I'm not going to lie to you. It is a raucous stadium. That campus is gorgeous. They got a cool sports bar on the campus as well. People were, it was the first game of the year, so people are out tailgating. I often describe it as the smell of brats and hope. Because their second game that season was Michigan.
Yeah.
So they came down from 2 scores to win that game against San Diego State.
Yeah.
But it was a great presentation. I always give respect to Notre Dame because I loved my experience there.
And I've never had the pleasure of going, but you have to, correct me if I'm wrong. They remind me a lot of like the Green Bay Packers fan.
Very similar. That's a good call. Very, very similar. What I really dug, though, just the whole vibe. But I will tell you what, if you go to South Bend, Indiana, if you didn't know Notre Dame was there, you wouldn't know. It's tucked into the back of this housing development. Like I put it in my GPS, which GPS was a thing when I was there.
Right.
It was like, turn here. And I was like, okay, oh, there's the campus. Like it just shows up.
Exactly.
It's gorgeous. Dear Lord. Oregon State over UCLA this weekend. Colorado State beats my mom's favorite Boise State by a point, and the aforementioned San Diego State over Hawaii. Florida's still not ranked yet. Okay. And I believe, is it this week we get the first week of playoffs rankings, or is it next week?
Next week.
So we're gonna have to see what happens this week.
Yeah.
Florida's got the cocktail party coming up. I'm not feeling good. The OG rivalry neutral site game, in my opinion.
Right.
Now, OU Texas has kind of taken over that. I fully admit that. There is not people that have never seen the OU Texas rivalry, and Brian being an Ohio State fan, he kind of gets it with Ohio State, Michigan. It's hard to pick a better rivalry between those two.
Yeah, it is.
But living here, I see it firsthand. There's a reason you have to play that game at a neutral site, which is like 2 miles short of the halfway point, which is crazy.
Exactly. That it found a location that truly is right in the middle.
Well, and I always love every year when they play that game and you get that first overhead shot of the stadium where half of it's burnt orange and the other half of it's crimson.
Absolutely.
That shot tells you everything you need to know about that game. During the first half of that game is the best time to go to the fair.
Yeah.
Nobody in there.
None. Zero.
But leave before halftime.
Oh, yeah.
If it's lopsided, it's on. That's all I'm saying.
That's true.
Let us get to the NFL in another crazy, crazy, crazy week. Thursday night football.
What football?
Kansas City should have won that game by 40.
Yeah.
I went to bed at half. I'm like, this is not good football. I don't know why Kansas City is not whomping on this team. They were blanking them. And then I woke up the next day and it was like 19-8.
Right.
That's like a baseball score at best. And it missed the spread by like 1.5.
Yeah.
Which is
more light.
Don's saying his devices aren't connected. Let's see if he can get him. There he is.
Yay!
Ooh, you don't have to yell, Don. You're right in my ears, brother.
I did it.
Oh, I got my headphones on. I just realized I don't have my my earbuds in. I had to use them this morning. So earlier today, Baltimore in London town, but not animated.
Nah.
Can we talk about that for a minute? Ooh, I just yodeled. I missed that game, the game that Disney Plus did, the Toy Story thing.
Yeah.
Alex was texting me because he was watching it. He said it was actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
It was about a minute delay. It was about a 60-second delay, but it was cool. And instead of commercials, they were doing trivia questions. He said it was awesome.
Yeah, they were doing they did a lot of graphics that were pretty cool.
Oh, hold on. We may have breaking news.
Uh-oh. Where's your sound?
Yeah, breaking news. 146 remaining at MetLife Stadium. The Jets have just taken a 6-point lead.
Whoa.
There were 2 undefeateds going into today. One of them has already gone down. We may have the second one.
Yeah,
Philadelphia now has the ball on their own 25.
Yeah, because Philadelphia has dropped me 2 points in fantasy.
Ugh, don't even start. My fantasy team. Let me tell you something, Yahoo.
Same.
We had our fantasy draft. Alex is our commissioner. We have a great league. We have a great time every year. My team is called Isaiah 54:17. No weapon formed against me shall prosper.
Nice.
I have 1 win this year. But although after the draft, Yahoo gave me an A+ for my draft.
Okay.
Then Anthony Richardson does what Anthony Richardson does. And then Joe Burrow decides to lay an egg for the first 3 weeks. And now Garoppolo might be out.
Oh.
And then week 1, if you remember what happened in week 1, the person I had was starting Tua Tagovailoa. Let me know how that worked out for me. 2 of my losses this year, I have been doubled up on and tripled up on. That's how bad my team is right now.
Right. Well,
let's go pound sand, fan, Yahoo.
It could be worse.
I love my team and I love my league, but Yahoo could go pound sand right now.
It could be worse. Could be a Cowboys fan.
It's all cyclical, brother. You know that. Where were we? Washington Commanders beating Atlanta today. Atlanta was giving them 1.5, which made no sense to me because the Falcons are terrible.
Yes, they are.
And Washington, out of nowhere, decides they're going to be a football team.
Right.
Minnesota finally holds Chicago off in a game that was sloppy. The over-under on this was 44.5. It was 19-13 final. Cincinnati, in a great game, beats Seattle by 4. That game just went back and forth. Now, Cleveland, on the other hand, I don't know how Cleveland won that game. Now, they beat San Francisco. I have San Francisco's defense, who did get a pick today. Cleveland is a blind man in a corn maze right now. They're getting their way through this. My Dolphins open a can on Carolina today. They were given 14. It wasn't going to be enough as they double up on Carolina 42-21.
That they did.
It got a little hairy there in the fourth quarter. Tyreek Hill probably going to get fined, and that's okay.
What did he do this?
Apparently, he did a backflip in the end zone.
That's fine, I thought.
I think, though, in the manner in which he did it, he's already said, if I get fined, I'm cool with it.
Oh, okay.
He is having that. I'm trying to figure out which version of the multiverse I'm in right now because my Dolphins are amazing. And I'm so happy. LA's known me a long time. Don's known me a long time. I ride or die with the Miami Dolphins. I have since I was 7.
Yep.
But you want to know a weird fact?
What's that?
I've never seen them play in South Florida.
No.
I've seen them live 3 times. All 3 times have been here.
Wow.
I was there on Thanksgiving night when Ricky Williams ran all over them. 41. I was there in the cold of the old stadium. God, it was so cold that night. But I was happy as a lark.
Were you there that one on Thanksgiving where they got snowed in?
No, I was actually on a plane when that happened.
Oh, okay.
I was flying from Tampa back to Fort Lauderdale, and I got off the plane, and people were like, "You are never going to guess what happened."
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
And I was like, Leon Lett.
We don't have fond
And it wouldn't be the last time Leon Lett made a bonehead move.
We don't have fond memories of Miami at certain intervals of life.
I mentioned Anthony Richardson earlier. He may be having season-ending surgery this week. His Indianapolis Colts go down by 17 to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Houston beats New Orleans today. What is happening at NRG Stadium? CJ Stroud has breathed life into this team that I didn't think was possible.
I didn't either, man.
Did you also know, and I want to backtrack a little bit, when the Chiefs beat the Vikings, Patrick Mahomes is now the youngest player ever to beat all other 31 teams.
That's true. Yep.
And he'll never beat the Chiefs because he'll never leave the Chiefs.
Nope.
Because they paid him a lot of money.
Yes, they did.
Well, I always say never say never. Look at Joe Montana and Emmitt Smith.
That was kind of a different deal, in my opinion.
Still,
I think Patrick Mahomes is the kind of kid that he's going to know when it's time.
Yeah, he's
cut know when it was time. Emmett did not know it was time.
He's cut from a cloth, Don, of the greats back in the day. I don't think he's cut from this new generation cloth.
Raiders over the Patriots today. The Patriots continue on a downward spiral. They are 1-5 right now.
You know, it's rumors that Bill Belichick, when he retires, it may not be with New England.
It wouldn't surprise me. That team is bad.
Yeah.
And you kind of feel for Mac Jones a little bit because benched 2 weeks in a row as the starter mid-game. And Bailey Zappe's now like your third string quarterback because your guy from the practice squad's now your backup. Where's the love for Bailey Zappi? Rams a little bit rough out of the gate against Arizona, but end up beating them by 15. And it's final, gentlemen. They are popping the champagne in Miami tonight. The Philadelphia Eagles have lost to the New York Football Jets 20-14.
They did. Wow.
So your final 2 undefeateds have gone down in week 6.
The only thing that my comments about this, I felt San Francisco had it coming. Because they seem to have a bigger circle on the calendar for the Cowboys than they did any other games.
With Debo and Christian McCaffrey both out in that game, that didn't help either.
Didn't help, yeah. I think that Philadelphia was just coasting until they got to the 2 heavyweights of Dallas and San Francisco. And I thought that they felt they were good enough to do that all the way until they faced some legitimate competition. And I hate that the Jets smacked them in the mouth because I think they're going to get focused now.
Do you think Dallas is looking when they got whomped on by Arizona before they got to the 49ers? Were they looking past Arizona and it just started a tailspin that continued into that game last week?
I'm going to say I don't think that they looked past Arizona. I think the Arizona loss was more of, oh, we're great. We're going to breeze by them. We can take them lightly. I don't think it was looking to San Francisco, but I definitely think it was overconfidence.
Because they're going to be playing tomorrow night. Tonight's game, ugh. Alex is not going to be happy tonight. The New York Football Giants go to the Buffalo Bills. By the way, in case you have not heard, the company I work for has the naming rights to the new Buffalo Stadium. As a Dolph fan, I was not consulted on this.
Are you saying Dolph fan?
Dolph fan, that's what we are.
So your company should ask you first.
So you're taking the I out and putting the A in there, aren't you?
They've called us that since I was a kid.
I'm just making sure that you was using that.
Yeah, I'm a Dolph fan. That's what we're called.
So the CEO is supposed to call you up and talk about this with you ahead of time. Is he okay?
Not consulted.
Okay.
Buffalo is giving 15.5 right now.
And they'll cover. They'll do the whole thing plus more. This Giants team is the only team that can compete with how bad New England is.
Dude, my heart was with them in preseason. I really believed in the preseason after they had a better than average showing last year. This was going to be the year that New York Football Giants were going to make moves, and they have not.
The reason why they have not is because when you have a quarterback and Daniel Jones to his right is a first-round draft pick. But when you have a quarterback that does not belong with those other first rounders, you have to accompany him with a strong offensive line. And I know that the Giants took one big injury, I believe, before the beginning of the season to their line, but they have not strengthened it. And that's what's Daniel Jones' downfall. He does not have protection. And until he does,
you have like 1300ths of a second to throw the ball. It does not help. You're right. But I want to go back and correct something because it is now past September 22nd.
Okay.
So I can say that the New England Patriots were beaten by a team that we like to talk about as the autumn wind is a rain. There you go. Tomorrow night, your Dallas Cowboys travel to SoFi Stadium, home of this year's WrestleMania, to take on the Chargers. Dallas is giving 1.5.
That's good. That's about it.
If I were a bettor, I would avoid this game like the plague.
Yeah.
This is a trap.
It is.
Because Dallas kind of licking their wounds right now. Chargers starting to charger.
I'm going to say
every year.
I'm going to say that I feel that Arizona was the slap in the back of the head. Like, hey, get yourself together. I think that the San Francisco bludgeoning was the humble factor.
I woke up Tuesday morning and went, I'm sorry, what happened?
Yeah. You get one of those a season, and I think every team does. And unless you're Belichick, you get that every week. But yeah, I think.
Can I tell you that rivalry I think is good for the league?
Yeah,
those games in the 90s, I circled that because I was a fan when Emmett was there because I'm a big Emmett fan. But when they played Frisco, you knew it was on.
Yeah, and both teams brought it.
Yep.
But that's not the NFL today, and San Francisco's in Dallas's head, and I'm going to say that until Dallas has a legitimate competitive showing against them.
Don, what are your thoughts on tomorrow night?
I would take the Chargers. It's West Coast. And I think they're just going to be that wild card thing.
Dallas has already been on the West Coast because they played San Francisco last week.
Look what happened.
Right, but they didn't come home. They probably stayed there.
Oh, they probably came home. They didn't stay there for a week.
If I was the coach, I'd be like, we ain't going nowhere because we're not changing time zones and changing back. That'll make sense.
I think he might be right, Rob, because they had that extra day to practice. So I think they did come back.
Next week, teams on the bye: Carolina, Cincinnati, Dallas, Houston, the Jets, and Tennessee, all on the bye next week.
Good.
Which means I need a quarterback. Thursday night. Again, I don't know which version of the multiverse I'm living in. The 4-2 Jacksonville Jaguars travel to the Superdome in New Orleans. I don't have lines on the games yet. The way New Orleans played today, Jacksonville could bite them in their own house. Don, what do you think?
I can take Jacksonville on that if it's a straight up or anything.
I don't have any lines yet, so.
I know. I'm just saying I'd take Jacksonville to win straight up.
LA.
That was okay. Jacksonville's playing who again? I'm sorry.
They're going to New Orleans.
Oh, Jacksonville, man. I think New Orleans is in the tailspin that we were talking about. I think there's some issues.
They definitely showed it today.
Yeah, there's some issues in New Orleans, and I think they capped out at their top game. I think it was when they defeated or bludgeoned New England. I think that was their top game. They don't have it anymore. They're done.
We got a quick shout out to put on the screen. My nephew Gavin says hello to his Uncle Rob, so I got to put that on the screen. That's my dude right there. I miss them so much.
But I'll tell you this, Rob. I am so glad to say that the Who Dat era is over. Finally done.
I'm gonna sip my tea and look out the window.
I am so happy. You don't understand. You know what? I finally understood what the Cowboy haters have against Cowboy fans who still say we're always going to the Super Bowl. I finally got what that felt like when all I heard was "Who Dat."
Did I ever tell you I came home from a business trip a few years ago and I stopped by a local restaurant to where I was living at the time on the way home to grab dinner, and it was the night of the draft. And the Cowboys had their pick while I was there, and and I can't remember who the pick was, but this guy in the bar yells, "Oh yeah, we're going to the Super Bowl!" Bro, it's the draft. What are you doing?
Oh my God. But that reminds me of what we had to do for the past 15 to 20 years of Who Dat. I am so glad that they can now go back to picking up their paper bags and adjusting them back on their head.
And so can their former coach right now, too.
Yeah. Done.
But next Sunday, your early games. The autumn wind continues to be a raider. As LA goes to Chicago, we don't know. Garoppolo went down with an injury today.
You said LA. I got you.
Oh, the Raiders. I think I would avoid this game too because we don't know who's healthy and who's not.
Yeah.
I hope Garoppolo is, because Anthony Richardson's my backup right now, and he might be out for the rest of the season. And my only other quarterback on the roster is Garoppolo. So I need him to get healthy, or else I got to go look at the waiver wire tomorrow.
And it's going to be cold in Chi-Town.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Cleveland goes to England.
First off,
I'm
going from Unibet. Jacksonville is a 1-point favorite.
Oh, they'll cover that. Yeah,
give me Jacksonville -1.
Okay. And what was the second game?
Raiders Bears.
Okay. Going by Unibet, Chicago was +3.
Give me
the
Raiders -3. Bears are also in a tailspin right now, but Vegas could be too. But I would still take Vegas -3.
Yeah.
Cleveland goes to Lucas Oil Stadium to play the Indianapolis Colts in what will probably not be the national game of the week.
Okay, line is Cleveland -2.
You know what? Call me crazy. Give me Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, I think Cleveland's going to be on a high too from this victory over San Fran. Yeah, give me the Colts with that too.
They're going to bring them back down to earth a little bit.
Yeah.
It ain't going to be by much.
Right.
I would still take Indy.
I'd take Cleveland.
Yeah.
Buffalo goes to New England.
Buffalo -8.5.
Oh, they'll go. That's not enough.
New England might not get 9 points in this game.
Not enough.
And I hate that I have to say that about the Buffalo stinking Bills.
That's not enough.
It is not enough. The Commanders of Washington go to MetLife Stadiums to take on the Giants.
Ew.
Washington -1.5. And
Oh, that's
I take the Giants.
It's so weird that I'm going to say give me Washington over the Giants because Washington's been
be
bad
freaking
for
awesome.
so long.
That's
But
awesome.
my heart hurts for Alex. It really does because this team is bad.
That should be a toss, man. That should just be a toss.
I mean, Washington's playing ball.
yeah.
This kid they've got at quarterback who I didn't hear of until a month ago.
But they play ball and then they don't. They play it until they don't. They stink when they don't.
Atlanta at Tampa Bay.
Atlanta +2.5. I'll take Atlanta with the 2.
Atlanta's going to play second half football.
I'll take Tampa Bay.
This is not a homer pick, even though they got shown the door in their own house by Detroit, but Detroit's good.
Detroit is good.
Which means next year I can root for the Jets. It's always going to be now the year after they're on Hard Knocks.
Right.
I said this year I'm not getting rope-a-doped by Hard Knocks. Last year I did. But I would take Tampa Bay on this. Atlanta's, and this is a divisional game too. Atlanta just, they can't get the wheels on. Detroit goes to M&T Bank Stadium to play the Baltimore Ravens. By the way, Detroit has lost one game in almost a calendar year.
Damn.
Detroit is +2.5. I'd take Detroit.
I would take Detroit all day long. Baltimore, they don't look good. That's a 4-2. Don't let 4-2 fool you there.
But Baltimore's at home.
But Detroit has kept their injuries to a minimum, and they're in a rhythm right now. When you can be 5-1 with Jared Goff.
Yeah. I'll take Detroit. You said
MCDC, Motor City Dan Campbell wants me to believe in this team something fierce, and I like him.
You sold me.
Don, your Pittsburgh Steelers coming off the bye.
They're +3.5. So over the Rams. So
at LA.
I'd take my Steelers. For some reason, I feel lucky this weekend coming up.
I'm taking the Rams. I do not trust, as much as they say there's a lot of quarterbacks in here, including mine, that they say you can't trust. I don't trust the Pittsburgh quarterback to save my. I'm sorry.
Kenny Pickett's showing signs. Here's my thing. If you had asked me to make this pick 6 hours ago, I would take Pittsburgh all day. The Rams are starting to come alive.
Yep.
Get ready.
Yep.
They're watching them today. I was like, oh dear. Here we go. But I will tell you, Don, from my office building, I can see all the stadiums.
Oh, that's cool.
They're all pumped. Yeah, it's kind of neat. Arizona, as we're now getting into Pittsburgh was the first of the late games. Arizona goes to Seattle.
Okay, Arizona's +8.5. I'd take Seattle.
Ooh.
Seattle at home in October. Yeah. Geno Smith got banged around today, but they're going to be back with a vengeance next week.
After that loss too? Oh yeah.
Yeah. This is that's not a team I'd be wanting to play after a game like that.
Oh,
go ahead.
QB. That's a smart guy, man.
I like the way he was playing today. He knows when to run, but you can't do that forever.
No
and Seattle likes to go after the quarterback. They showed that today. They were relentless on defense today. Not enough, but they were. The Packers go to Mile High Stadium. These teams have 3 wins between them.
Green Bay is -2. I'd take Green Bay.
I would too. Denver's melting down.
You know what? This is tough because Russell will cook on a game like this. And they're in Green Bay, you said?
No, they're in Denver.
They're in Denver?
2 points.
I don't trust it. I don't trust it.
Only because
I don't trust Green Bay, but I really don't trust Denver.
Only because of the two. If I had to choose out of Jordan Love and Russell Wilson. That's what it comes down to. I'm still going to take Russ over Jordan.
This ought to be interesting. Next week, late game. The Chargers go to Arrowhead.
Ooh.
Chargers +6. I'd take Kansas City.
Kansas City's playing some ball right now. But what they're also showing is they are one injury away from a meltdown.
So Kansas City is giving the Chargers 6?
I would still take Kansas City. I think Kansas City wins by at least a touchdown. I don't think this is a blowout because it'll be the last stand before Chargers going Charger.
I think they're going to keep it close. So that's why I'm taking the Chargers.
I'm going to go to Sunday night. I'm going to go Monday night, and then I'm going to come back to Sunday night because Sunday night football next week, you better get ready. Monday night football next week, San Francisco goes to Minnesota.
Minnesota is +7. I take San Francisco.
You think they're going to cover that?
+7, yeah. I say San Francisco -7. Yeah.
They couldn't even blow out Cleveland as they were supposed to today.
I know, but they're going to. But how they killed Dallas and they got a little cocky today.
Yeah,
I think they'll.
And McCaffrey down, Deebo Samuel's down.
That's what I'm saying. They still don't have those guys next week.
If they've got at least one of them, I'd take San Francisco.
Even just one, they're going to get that. They're going to go over 7.
Yes.
Okay.
Because that is a tandem that I will take on my team any day, even one of them healthy. Let me go back 15 months and tell you Christian McCaffrey is doing what he's doing right now.
Right.
He is floundering in Carolina.
Okay. I'll tell you what.
This guy, when the plane comes to get him from San Francisco, he says, I need one thing. I need that playbook on the plane. All he did in that entire flight was read the playbook.
Right.
It's a 5-hour flight. He got plenty of time.
Yep.
If you don't have either of them, that line's going to move.
I tell you what. If they have McCaffrey and not Deebo, I would take the Niners. If they don't have McCaffrey and they have Deebo, I would take the Vikings. But if they don't have both, I'm definitely taking the Vikings.
If they don't have either one of them, that game is decided in the first quarter.
Yep.
Whoever wins first quarter is going to win that game. But if they got one of them,
well, I can't say
Purdy.
I can't say because Kirk Cousins will throw a team back in easy.
But Brock Purdy is playing lights out.
He is, but that Justin Jefferson on the other, is he hurt? Wait, is he hurt?
Justin Jefferson's on the IR. He's on my team. I know.
Okay, never mind.
This is only week 1 or 2 of that IR. He won't play.
My bad, Don. If Justin Jefferson don't play, I'm taking San Francisco all damn day.
I've also got Minnesota's tight end, Hawkinson.
Without McCaffrey, without Deebo, and no Jefferson, I'm still taking San Francisco.
-7.
Yep. Okay. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Now let's talk about Sunday night football next week.
Okay.
The unstoppable force meets the immovable object. Tua Tagovailoa versus Jalen Hurts. Let's go.
I think somebody's going to be underwhelming. And you know who that's going to be?
Hold on. Let Don give me the line first.
Okay.
First off, I got to give this to Gorilla Monsoon. The irresistible force meets the immovable object. That's the way.
That's where I stole it from.
Okay. But what do you think the line is, Rob?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
What would be your guess?
Good question.
I would say Philly -3, which makes it a pick 'em.
Actually, it's Philly -2.5. I take Philly.
Close to a pick 'em as it's going to get. Because you automatically give 3 for being at home.
Yeah, it's -2.5. So I take Philly, though.
And people can talk all they want about a tropical climate team playing north of the Mason-Dixon.
I don't think that matters.
Look at Miami's record in New England in December. That's all you need to know.
Yep. I
With the struggles Philly had today.
not just today.
I'm just taking today in the time capsule because this was the loss. And Miami's defense playing the way they are.
Yeah.
I'm a little nervous that I don't have Achan right now because that kid is the truth.
If you look at Philly's game by game analysis since the start of this season, they are trending towards this loss that they had today. They were on their way to this loss today.
And they lost one of their best linemen, too.
Yes. I think that Philly is not done losing. And I'm not going to say it's going to be a losing streak, but but if you can start a streak at 1. So I'm just saying.
I think the streak starts at 3.
Okay. Well,
you lose 1, you lose 2, it's back to back. You lose 3, that's streak.
Think that I don't know about 3 because I don't know who they have after, but I do know Miami. I see Miami putting the L on them again.
Philly in week 8 is at Washington.
See, that's why. Yeah, okay. So I think they'll get their bearings back at Washington, but I do think that this Miami one is a loss.
This Miami game, those ratings are going to be through the roof.
Yeah.
And it's like, yay!
And it's not to give Miami, first place in the AFC as far as in home field advantage. I'm just sticking with how they're playing right now. They're on all cylinders. I think they got it. I think they got it clicking way better than Philly right now.
And again, I don't know which version of the multiverse I'm living in. Miami is tied with Kansas City for the best record in the AFC.
That they are.
Which is insanity.
I can't wait to see those two teams collide.
Brother.
Kansas City and who?
Miami.
Yeah.
We're tied for the best record in the conference.
Yeah. I wait for those two teams collide.
As long as both of them can stay healthy enough. That'll be November 5th.
And I promise you.
And that's in London. No, that's in Germany.
Yep.
8:30 a.m. Central on NFL Network. And then Miami has the bye, which I'm sure either Kansas City has right before or right after, because that's usually the way that works.
Yep.
And then they're hosting Dallas on Christmas Eve.
Kansas City or Miami?
No, Miami is.
Yeah. That's what I thought. And we got to go back down there for freaking Christmas Eve. Leon Lett needs to be banned from ringside, okay?
No, but that game was in Dallas. This game's in Miami. It's completely different.
Nothing. Time the Dolphins play Dallas, Leon Lett has to watch it from home.
All right.
Quick show side note.
Yes, sir.
Is it me or does Don look like he's in the middle part of a horror movie right now?
Spooky season. It's spooky season. Don's full on spooky season at this point.
Yeah.
Somebody is going to be waiting behind him, and you and I are going to be pointing, saying, Don, behind you.
All right, let's get into the pop culture side of this, where we ran a little bit over on sports, but we kind of had to because we had a lot to catch up on. And if you know this show, we could talk NFL all day long. We don't care.
We love football.
Love football. Oh, we love football. Couple of quick notes. Apple TV has canceled the After Party after 2 seasons. I thought that was gaining some steam, but I guess not. But an even bigger news for me, and I don't know if you gentlemen have watched this series yet, but Disney Plus has a series that is called Behind the Attraction.
Oh, I saw a thing on that. Yeah.
If you know anything about me,
yeah,
I'm a Disney guy. Growing up in Florida, it's in the Constitution.
Yeah.
I thought you was more of a Hanna-Barbera guy.
Well, I am, but you make me choose, you make me choose. I've never been to Universal, ever. And it's not on purpose. I just wind up at Disney. So season 1 actually came out when the Jungle Cruise movie came out, because that was the first episode. And Dwayne and his ex-wife are executive producers of the entire series. So they had episodes like on Space Mountain, which is fascinating. They did an episode on the Haunted Mansion that is really neat because they talk about how they've had to change the Haunted Mansion as it's evolved. So like when they opened Shanghai in China, they had to completely retell the story because the way American audiences would see ghosts and apparitions is not the same culturally as they do in China. So the whole series is fascinating.
Mhm.
I watched it in like a day and a half. They've announced season 2 is going to drop November 1st, and I am very excited.
And how many episodes were there roughly in the first one?
8 to 10.
And
They
were they an hour each or something? Or
about
what?
an hour apiece. Mhm.
Okay.
And they should actually do one on the Disneyland Hotel. That's pretty fascinating.
Which Disneyland Hotel? Oh, there's one in I'm thinking
Anaheim.
LA. Okay.
In Anaheim.
Okay. They
I
actually have
want
a
to say part of the trailer for season 2, they're going to talk about Animal Kingdom Lodge, which I'm very fascinated by. So check out season 1 if you haven't.
Oh, I
If
will.
you are any form of a Disney person or a theme park person, it's an amazing series. And because they really go in depth on the Space Mountain one's kind of cool because they show how they completely retell the story at Paris, that they based it on H.G. Wells' Time Machine, which is pretty neat, and how they remake it, like they redo it they have like a Star Wars skin that they put over it sometimes, which is kind of neat. Fox has renewed MasterChef Junior for season 9. Right now, I am fully embroiled in Lego Masters. So that's my jam. I don't really Gordon Ramsay, he wears me out. Because if I was on a show and he yelled at me like that, I would be in jail right now for punching him.
He yells at everybody.
It's not my jam. Hulu has announced that they are doing all the seasons. If you remember LA Law from back in the day, Hulu's going to be carrying the entire season remastered in high definition. So if you've been longing for Corbin Burnson in 1080p, you're going to get it. I don't know if you saw this, LA. Max has canceled Winning Time.
You know, I heard about that. I heard they were canceling that a few weeks ago.
And I watched Alex had me watch the first episode with him. I liked it. I just haven't gotten back around to it.
Gotcha.
Speaking of which, Stars, I'm talking to you.
What now?
They cancel Heels,
Yeah.
so I'm very upset about.
Yeah.
I was 2.5 episodes until the finale, until it was over.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They've pulled it off the app.
Whoa.
I can't find season 2 anywhere. I've gone Prime. I've Googled it. I have 2.5 episodes left, and everybody keeps telling me that the finale for season 2 is just nuts.
It is.
And I
Wow.
can't find it because season 2 has been outstanding.
And here's the thing, and this is being
Don't
spoiler
spoil this.
It's
Don't spoil
spoiler
this,
free.
John.
Spoiler free. Spoiler free. I liked how they ended it,
No, we lost LA.
but I like how they ended it if there was going to be a season 3.
See, that's what everybody's saying is that the way you ended season 2, don't do that.
No, I think they ended it thinking there would be a season 3.
But the
You know?
showrunner says they are shopping it around to get season 3 done.
Yeah.
But don't pull it off the app. Let me at least finish it. I can watch season 1 on Prime, but they don't have season 2.
Yeah.
And that show has been outstanding. It gets
Whoa.
better with every episode.
Hmm.
And the guy that plays the rival promoter, the guy with the beard,
Yeah.
he's the showrunner.
Oh, is he? Okay.
And it blows my mind did you watch The Wire, didn't you, Don?
I watched the first season. I thought, but then
Okay, so I don't know if you know who that guy is, but the guy that plays Wild Bill was on The Wire.
Okay.
And when you see him with pictures from The Wire, you're like, that's the same dude.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's
Okay.
weird. And the guy that plays, I can't remember his name, but he's the guy that jumped from one Fed to the other and became the champ.
Okay.
He was on the Wonder Years.
Okay. Are you talking the reboot or the original Wonder Years?
The reboot.
Oh, the reboot.
Also
Okay.
just got canceled. So, and as you may have seen on Max here, LA's back.
I got so mad. I got so mad that I thought it was spoiling it. I had to hang. I'm sorry.
But You may have seen this on Max as well. They have added live sports via Bleacher Report. Right now, if you have a membership, you get a little bit of it, but they're also experimenting with game by game, which is interesting. So, let's see. Netflix makes a move because Paramount Plus cancels Star Trek Prodigy, which is one of their animated series after one season.
No, Upper Decks, right?
No, Prodigy. The
Okay.
other-
Whoo.
I'm caught up on Strange New Worlds. I have not watched the Lower Decks yet.
Yeah, Lower Decks. That's my. Oh, I was scared.
So, have you watched Strange New Worlds yet?
I haven't. Lower Decks is my joint though, but I haven't watched that one.
There's a crossover episode. That's all I'm saying. It's in season 2 of Strange New Worlds.
What is it called?
I'll have to get it for you later, but it's
Oh,
later in
please.
season 2. Yes,
Oh my God! Yes,
and it's brilliant.
I love Lower Decks, so I will be a P1. Fine, I'm in.
Well, and you know who plays one of the officers on Lower Decks, right? It's Jerry O'Connell.
Right.
His wife is number 1 on Strange New Worlds.
Oh my God!
All I'm saying. But yeah, I'll have to. I think it's episode. I've got it.
That's okay. I'm watching all of them. I'm just gonna watch all of them.
I'm gonna let the Strange New Worlds is fantastic. I was very impressed with Strange New Worlds, and there's only 2. There's only 2 seasons, and they had a season 2 cliffhanger that was pretty dope too.
And it's gone away.
No, we're just waiting on season 3 because of the strike.
Okay, but you said what got canceled? Star Trek Prodigy.
No,
You said
Prodigy got canceled by Paramount Plus, and 3 hours later, Netflix picked it up. Okay, so the episode you're looking for, LA, is called Those Old Scientists, season 2, episode 7.
Okay,
So, and it's brilliant.
I can't wait to watch it.
They even altered the opening credits for Strange New Worlds for it. That's all I'm saying.
What? Yes.
Yes. Paramount Plus news, they canceled the iCarly reboot after 3 seasons.
Thank you.
And they have announced that November 22nd is your debut for Good Burger 2.
Who cares?
Didn't see the first one.
Yeah.
Let's see. TV on DVD and Blu-ray this week. Season 1 of the reboot of Night Court, which my wife quite enjoyed on Peacock.
I visited occasionally. I'll catch up.
I didn't like it. I love the original Night Court, but this one I didn't like.
Also, season 1 of the Kiefer Sutherland show Rabbit Hole, which I believe was on Prime.
That's good stuff.
Season 5 of The Crown this week. The final season and complete series for Titans, which is a show I need to at least start because I've heard very good things about it.
Season 5 sucks.
The complete series of Alf, which apparently they're talking about rebooting.
Oh, please. I will be a P1. Thank you.
The complete collection of Psych. The Legacy, which is the complete series for Star Trek Picard this week, and the complete series for The Walking Dead, all available to you on physical media this week.
Rabbit Hole was on Paramount Plus.
Yes.
What? You what, Don?
Rabbit Hole was on Paramount Plus.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And one other thing, though, they just started the new season again. Show that me and the Fantastic Faith Lord love is on A&E. It's called Accused, Guilty, or Innocent. If you haven't watched that show, it's incredible because it follows a case of a real life court case of somebody that's accused for a crime. And it shows their real life story of going through to the end trial and everything. And some of these cases, this is real life. And I mean, some of these, you really feel for these people they're being prosecuted and stuff like that. And, that one, it's worth watching if you haven't seen, for what it's worth. It's on every Thursday night right now on A&E.
Can I give a show that is I'm sad to see go, and a show that I stumbled upon that I'm mad they aren't making any more of?
Go for it.
The show I'm sad to be seeing leave is Archer.
Alex is a big fan. I've heard very, very good. That's one of those I'm just going to binge the whole thing at some point because I'm the guy who's just phrasing all the time now.
I'm excited about Archer ending it off with a bang because they have decided to do like this mini type of movie for its final episodes.
in the danger zone.
Yeah, I'm going to appreciate that. A show that I thought was extremely intelligent, one of the most intelligent animated series superhero shows that I think I've ever seen. And that is HBO Max's, or just Max's, Young Justice.
Oh, Young Justice. I watched the original run.
Oh my God.
The time jump in season 3, I think, messed with me a little bit.
Yeah, I get that.
I didn't watch the season they did just for Max. I need to go back and watch that, but I really enjoyed Young Justice.
I am very upset that I found out they are adamant about, no, we're done.
It was just so, yeah, you're right. It was absolutely well done. I very much enjoyed it.
And the new season of Billy the Kid on MGM starts tonight. That was really good.
Very good. That looks very, very good.
It's a good show. That one I really like.
Music news this week. Congratulations to the Trisha Yearwood and John Prine. They're going to be inducted into the Austin City Limits Hall of Fame.
Cool deal.
Checking in. Remember that song "We Are Young" by Fun and Janelle Monáe?
I remember Forever Young. No,
it's a different song. But We Are Young has joined the billion stream club on Spotify.
Wow.
Mazel tov to those kids. And Amy Winehouse's Back to Black has hit 1 billion views on YouTube. We're seeing a lot of that lately.
Yeah.
People go to watch videos now.
Oh, I remember Ain't It Fun by Palamore.
That's a good song.
Yeah.
The Oak Ridge Boys will be on their farewell tour this coming year after 50-something years on the road together. Apparently, they've played the Kentucky State Fair like 56 years in a row or something crazy like that.
Oh, wow.
They're playing in Arlington, I think. I think it was this weekend. And actually, I'm going to hold off. We're going to come back to that because somebody made a lot of money this weekend.
Oh, cut it out, Rob. Come on.
Music new releases this week. The brand new album from Blink-182 finally arrives this week. It's called One More Time. Bombay Bicycle Club with My Big Day. Duff McKagan, formerly, or maybe currently, I don't know, of Guns N' Roses with a solo album called Lighthouse. Rolling Stones' brand new album called Hackney Diamonds, hearing very good things. And we always put one in there when I find a group that makes me giggle. The album is called Losing What We Love. The name of the band is Knuckle Puck.
Okay.
Let's talk box office numbers. Dropping out of the top 10 this week is only one movie drops out of the top 10 this week, and it is the 30th anniversary re-release of Hocus Pocus. 2 weeks, $3.2 million. It made all its money the first time around. Dumb Money drops from 8 to 10. Have you seen this yet, LA?
Not yet.
This is the story of the GameStop stock debacle from 2020. Yeah. Very good film. Don and I have both seen it, as have Alex. All 3 of those reviews can currently be found at www.theclubhousepodcast.com.
That's our website.
Thank you. But it drops from 8 to 10 this week, $920,000. 5 weeks, $12.7 million. Equalizer 3 holding strong at 9th place. It is making a ton of money internationally. I loved the first 2. I just haven't gotten around to this one yet. But I've heard good things.
Good stuff.
It is 7 weeks. It's made almost $91 million. The Nun 2 drops from 7 to 8 this week, $1.6 million. 6 weeks, $83.7 million. The Blind, this is the story of the Robinson family from Duck Dynasty, drops from 5 to 7 this week. $2 million, 3 weeks, just short of $14 million. A Haunting in Venice, which I have not seen yet, and I really need to, stays in 6th place. $2 million in 5 weeks. It's made just about $39 million. Don, you saw this, didn't you?
Which one?
A Haunting in Venice?
Yeah. I saw. Yeah, very good. Like I said on my review at www.clubhousepodcast.com.
That's your website.
I put on there that it's not as good as Murder on the Orient Express, but better than Death on the Nile.
And I enjoyed both of those films.
Yeah.
You know how I am with Agatha Christie stuff. I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
The Creator drops from 4 to 5 this week. I really wanted to go to the screening, but I've been sick for a month. So
I'll go for you, buddy. It's no problem.
$4.3 million, 3 weeks, $32.5 million. Saw 10 drops from the bronze medal to 4th place with another $5.7 million. No! 3 weeks, just under $50 million. The Exorcist Believer.
Hold on. Real fast. Oak Ridge Boys. 2022 was 47 years straight at the Kentucky
There you
State
go.
Fair. 47.
I'm sorry, dropping from the bronze to from the silver to bronze this week. Paw Patrol, the mighty movie, $7 million. 3 weeks, that thing's made almost $50 million.
Ooh,
It's a kids movie. Paw Patrol.
yes.
The Exorcist Believer
No.
drops from the gold medal to the silver medal this week. $11 million, 2 weeks, $45 million.
Still too much.
Now, gentlemen,
Yeah.
have you looked at box office numbers yet?
No. Well, kinda. I heard the pre-sale amount like on Tuesday.
Okay, but that's pre-sale. That's not the weekend numbers because
Yeah,
those
exactly.
tickets could have been bought for times after.
I'm
the
being
weekend.
honest. I'm being upfront. I'm trying to.
So as you can probably assume at this point,
Okay.
Taylor Swift the Eras Tour wins the box office for this weekend. What do you believe the ticket sales were for Friday through today?
I'm just gonna shoot high. $90 million.
Don,
I can say 135.
the closest without going over is actually LA.
Okay.
Now, Don, the story you read where there was 100 million in pre-sales,
Mm-hmm.
that is correct.
Yeah.
96 of it was for the weekend.
Oh God.
This is now not only the second biggest October opening ever,
Ever.
it also has now got the North American and global live concert film records.
What is it?
Well,
I'm sorry.
Ellie, let me ask you this. Was it better seeing it the second time around or third time around so far?
No.
But see, here's the other thing.
No.
You know what's coming next, which I believe is this week, I think.
Was Beyonce doing a film?
Yep.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm sorry, I have to pull
Well,
the
you already
card.
saw it 3 times.
I gotta pull the card.
Okay.
Okay. We both know we're all brothers, but I don't look like you guys.
Really?
So
That is true.
I have to have you guys tell me
Okay.
what is it about Taylor Swift that makes her Taylor Swift?
Here's what you need to know about Taylor Swift. 1, she writes her own material,
Okay.
so she gets all the money.
A lot of sucky people write their stuff too.
2, she knows her demographic and she writes to it.
Okay.
Well, that's her boyfriend.
And let me tell you why I do not hate on Taylor Swift. I have a dear friend that a number of years ago, one of her daughters got into an accident jogging and got a traumatic brain injury from it.
Oh wow.
Has recovered. She does book tours and stuff about her recovery now. Hashtag Murphys don't quit. When she was in ICU, somehow, and I don't know how it happened, Taylor Swift got wind of it, went to the hospital and visited her family while she was in the ICU. I'm not hating. I can't.
No, that's fine. I wasn't looking for hate.
But she's also very public in the people she hangs out with. So that level, because, and let me tell you something else. And if you don't know this, we talked about this on the show a little while ago. She gave out $56 million in bonuses to every total for every single person working on this tour, from the people on stage to the guys driving the trucks, and they got personalized handwritten letters from her.
So
Gets
you're
it.
telling me that everybody loves Taylor Swift because she's a nice girl.
Except her
And
past boyfriend.
Her music,
she
her
can't get
music
over.
got more hooks in a tackle box, bro.
Here's the thing. I don't see it, but some
But
people
you're-
don't see
You're not the
Hold on.
target. Come on.
Hold on. Let me. My thing is, I don't see it, but some people were like, "What did you guys see about Jimmy Buffett?" You know what I'm saying? She has some good things. I know her dating thing is kind of nutsy, and she made some freaky songs about it. But like you're saying, some of the cool stuff she does fine. But in the NFL, I'm sick and tired of Taylor being the biggest story of the NFL right now.
Well, that you're gonna get that because Taylor's already big. I was just trying to figure out how the star got to be that big, because I've seen other stars that can sell out places and all that, but to the point of where Taylor's doing it, I just don't get it. And I was just trying to see if there was something that I missed.
What about Beyonce? She competes just as high.
Hey, let's talk about that for a minute. The Renaissance film releases December 1st.
Okay.
But you get my point. Yeah.
Was at the premiere of the Eras film last week.
Of course. That's a smart business move.
But Ellie, my answer to you is actually going to be a question. What do people see about Beyonce?
Well, I'm gonna let when Rob finishes, I'll explain that too.
Both of them sold out the stadium up the road multiple nights.
Right.
It's people ask the same thing about artists that we enjoyed growing up too. But also when you go to a show by somebody like Beyonce or Taylor Swift or these people that are going to the Sphere in Vegas to see U2, and I have seen footage from that and it is fantastic.
Yeah.
You're not just going to a concert, bro. You're going to an experience.
For sure.
And you're going to pay for it.
For sure.
As long as people will pay for it, it will continue to happen that way. It's simple economics.
Yeah. And to Don's question, I get the part about being relatable because I think that's where the Taylor Swift angle really comes from. Is the relatable stuff about boyfriends and it's not working out, and how can if I could sing my feelings and have it make sense, I would be Taylor Swift is what girls are saying. And then when it comes to Beyonce, I think Beyonce doesn't really make that type of connection with the audience the way Taylor does. I think more so for Beyonce, it's a empowerment of a woman and being a girl boss. Because I think
that's a little bit for both of them at least.
Well, no, I'm not taking away from Taylor, but I'm saying that's what Beyonce sings about. Taylor doesn't really necessarily sing about that. I think Beyonce has that alpha female type of song.
I will not debate that in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. So I think that's where Beyonce's fandom comes from, is the women who want to feel empowered that they don't need men and they can do it just as big as guys. I think the whole getting with Jay-Z and all that kind of stuff, all that helped to her credit. Taylor didn't need to do any of that. I think Taylor just constantly, like you said, with her talent of having those hooks, good songs, good producers and all of that, being a nice person and being relatable, I think that kind of gives me my answer. I just didn't know how it just ballooned like that. That's what my question.
Her first album was almost 20 years ago.
Right. And she's still like this.
When you look at both of them, to borrow a phrase from the other show, banger after banger after banger after banger after banger. Like I went in, I kind of dabbled in Taylor Swift's catalog recently. And I was like, I can't say I'm not tapping my foot right now.
Yeah. Hey, dude, I if you want to know one guy who was playing Bad Blood on repeat, you got to look no further than this guy. Okay? Because I had Bad Blood in the playlist.
Haters gonna hate. But you know what? And it's getting people to the movie theaters.
Yeah.
It's keeping the box office alive.
Yep, they are.
Only other thing we have this week for movies, and we're really short on time. There will be a single sequel to The Kingsman.
Okay.
Do you remember the prequel to Kingsman?
Again?
But this one's going to take place during the rise of Hitler, so I'm very interested in it. As the last one dealt with
World War I.
Yeah, with the Russians. Killers of the Flower Moon comes out this week. This is the new Martin Scorsese film. This movie is 3.5 hours long, boys.
I didn't see an invite for that.
There hasn't been one that I've seen. And even if there was, number one, I'm out of town this week. Number two, I don't know that I would go to a 7:00 screening for a 3.5 hour movie.
Yeah. I go to 10:30. Yeah.
That's your big one this week. Movies at home this week. The narrative version of the Life of Golda Meir called Golda. The next Mortal Kombat animated film called Mortal Kombat Legends Cage Match. I'm very interested in. I haven't watched it. I got the second one. I haven't watched it yet. There is a 50th anniversary Ultimate Collector's Edition of the original Exorcist, as well as The Way We Were, and the documentary called RoboDoc: The Creation of RoboCop this week. And the Criterion Collection has Freaks, which is a small indie film from back in the day. One quick tech note. As I told you boys, I'm out of town on business this weekend. I have found an amazing thing. And it's been a thing for a while, and I've not really tried it, but I tried it between shows.
Okay.
I have a number of different apps for travel because there was a time where I was a road warrior, so I had all these reward points and blah, 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 blah. I am staying at a Hilton. Get an email from Hilton. Hey, you can check in just like you do when you check in for your flight. You can do it with Hilton now. And I said, let me try this. Now, when I travel, I like to stay on as high of a floor as possible. I don't like people walking on my, you know what I mean? I don't like people walking on my ceiling. They let me pick my room. Just like you pick your seat on a flight. They let me pick the room. And I went to the top floor and it said 3 rooms available. Clicked on the thing. Found one a ways away from the elevator and a ways away from the staircase. And I said, bing.
Scoreboard.
And it's going to send me a thing tomorrow. My key's going to be in here. I don't have to get a car key. I just hold my phone up to the thing.
Oh, hoity-toity.
So I will be bringing back a report next week on how that all goes.
As he scoreboards me and Don.
If it's one thing that drives me crazy, is I get out in the hallway and I've left my card key in the room. Tell you something, I don't leave this thing behind anywhere.
Yeah.
Right. As he scoreboards us, Don.
So I'm very excited about this. I get to see some of my coworkers that I only get to see once a quarter. So, but of course, all the Pittsburgh teams are on the road again. Last time I went, I wanted to go to a Pirates game. They were away at the Mets. By the way, and baseball's dead to me right now. Don't care. No Diamondbacks.
We still never did the season finale of America's Favorite Game Show.
Well, we can't. It's 3 weeks old now, Don. What happens when we're gone for a month?
Doesn't we can still
No. But we are at least going to have it 2 or 3. We're going to string 2 or 3 episodes together at some point. Because I know there will be a weekend, probably the weekend after the 2 weeks after Thanksgiving, we will not have a show because I will be on the road. Taking a big road trip to go see my niece get married after Thanksgiving.
More scoreboarding.
No, she's known her since she was born. And I get to see a cousin of mine I haven't seen in forever, an aunt, uncle of mine I haven't seen in forever. So I'm very excited about that.
What's this guy's deal?
I've been everywhere, man.
Right.
Hashtag blessed.
The man.
Are we about to go out?
Yeah, we're doing the plugs right now.
No. Since the last show,
Oh yes,
I lost my stepdad of 30 years, and it's tough on my mom. But Ron Arneson was a second father to me who treated me like his son. He had his health was declining, and I'm surprised he lasted as long as he did. But he had an unfortunate fall, and then they took him to the hospital, and it got to the point where they did one operation, but they said if we do one more, it could be like he's a vegetable in the nursing home. And he goes, I just want to go home. And after he got home, 36 hours later, he met God. So it's tough on my mom. It's tough on my stepbrother, but he was a very good human being who had a lot of stuff against him, but he prevailed and became a very successful lawyer and judge that nobody ever thought he could do. And so just giving a shout out to Ron up, and he's in God's hands now. And if everybody wants to say a thought or prayer to my mom, please do. Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I want to send the best to your family, brother.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
So it's time for us to wrap up this week's episode. Make sure you visit our website, www.theclubhousepodcast.com. Find out everything you need to know and some stuff you don't. You can follow me on your social medias if you would like. Everything is yes, that Rob Irvin. That is spelled ERVIN. We now have TikTok. Still don't know what we're going to do with it, but we're going to figure it out. My normal co-host for this show, Alex Barnhill. You can follow him at Vexploit, VEXPLOIT, on all of your social medias. He also handles our store at ProWrestlingTees.com.
Oh,
No.
it's me. Sorry. Just got a text from Jerry. Apparently, he wants some late night fishing. So make sure that you follow LA Runs Dallas, all formats, all the time. And hanging out with the CEO of MMTG Clothing. That's me. Making moves, thanking God, because we're blessed to get you dressed. Jerry, hold on a second. Let me close the show out.
But hey, LA, if he tells you it's a 3-hour tour, don't go.
Oh, yeah, I got that. Yeah.
All right.
Especially if Gilligan's the first mate.
That's what I was going.
Yeah, I kind of already covered that.
Yeah, okay. The URL to get those awesome shirts is ProWrestlingTees.com, such a cheap podcast. At Twitter, I'm Eddie Voodoo, IGBNUUU. And if you want this managed to your place, email me, DonClubhousePodcast.com.
Some great film festivals coming up in our Fairburg. The It Came From Texas Film Festival comes up a week from Saturday. Some great local Texas horror films just in time for spooky season. Check out that festival there. You can send me an email if you like. Questions, comments, concerns, tell me to go pound sand. I'm Rob at theclubhousepodcast.com. Charlotte Marshall's on Pinterest because we are morally obligated to say that. Our normal show every Sunday night, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, is your one-stop shop for all things sports, entertainment, and pop culture. Alex should be back with us next week. So until then, for Alex, for Don, for LA, for the Empire,
Jerry.
I'm Rob. Clubhouse is closed. Brittany Palmer doing some great mural art that looks amazing.